Hey guys, what's up? Well, the ceiling's up, thank goodness. Sorry, joke I do with my students at school. This is Morgan Strong Comnic here for round 2, uno, dos, of Dan Wright's and I Disney March Villain Madness. Now last time I got to introduce my queen of the team, Cruella de Vil, and I appreciate those who went to the polls and voted, because I mean, let's face it, she would just wipe the floor with Gaston. She'd go, "Ow!" and all would be good. Now we're going to introduce my next team member for round 2. And that is always the maniacal, the twisted villain, Jafar. I love Aladdin. It's one of my favorite Disney movies. I almost have it memorized. So I'm really excited I get to introduce Jafar and why he would win in this event. So here is Jafar. Okay, this is a really fun first fact that I found. There's a Disney villain database, but I mean, why not? There's databases for everything. And Disney flat out admitted that he is a psychopath with a cool air. Wow, Disney admitted he was a psychopath. I mean, just right there, I was like, damn. That's fantastic. They also called him, like, truly power-hungry, charismatic, a whole bunch of other things. But just, they flat out just said in the first line that he was a psychopath, along with all these other words. But I was laughing so hard. I knew I made the right choice with Jafar to set that line. Jafar is based on the royal vizier, or advisor, from the movie The Thief of Baghdad, which is from the 1940s. And it uses a lot of Aladdin and the Arabian Nights tales in that original movie. Jafar's name comes from the Jafar in that 1940s film. A lot of the characters' actions do as well, and some other elements from the Disney movie. So Jafar kind of has some roots in other forms of media, which I thought was pretty interesting. His name comes from the real Grand Vizier Jafar Yana, and if I said that wrong, I apologize deeply, who was executed for sleeping with the sister of Huron the Righteous. I don't know who Huron the Righteous is, but he's got the part the righteous in his name, so he must be fairly righteous and important. And Jafar apparently slept with his sister, so I guess I didn't sleep right with him. I really don't know. There's also other fantastic stories about this Huron guy, and a lot of them are loosely true of the Arabian Nights tales. And now about Disney's Jafar, I mean, he hypnotizes people with his snake staff. And snakes and hypnotizing are very common in Disney. I mean, there's the snake from the Jungle Book. There's the snake from Robin Hood. Well, there's a lot of hypnotizing snakes. Okay. I guess like the snake charming. But Jafar has a staff that actually hypnotizes people. I don't know how his powers really progressed from there, but that's pretty mean itself. And the difficult thing in the movie was he was hypnotizing the Sultan because he was power hungry and wants to be Sultan. I mean, royalty stings because people are plotting to kill you, but that's still a little low, especially since he was like the royal the Sultan. The Sultan's so cute, and he just putts around. I think the Sultan's awesome. I think it was really interesting how Once Upon a Time, which is by ABC, which is owned by Disney, so kind of Disney in a way, takes their Jafar in Once Upon a Time in Wonderland. The staff was actually Jafar's lover. What? I know, it's nuts. It was also his mentor, so lover / mentor, so okay, we're crossing some boundaries. And Jafar turned her into the staff so he could keep her powers for himself. Hey baby, I love you, let me turn you into a weapon. Yeah, okay, that's hey, happy Valentine's Day to that. Apparently they were on this mission to get, I believe, 4 genies and 2 sorcerers. I didn't watch Wonderland that much. It didn't quite grab me like the original series. But when I read that on the database, I was just floored That's really heartless. Kingdom Hearts pun, not sort of intended, but that's really evil. So I can see, I mean, that's pretty powerful. And the hypnotizing staff, as long as Jafar holds on to it, I mean, he could just hypnotize the opponent and, like, you will, pull your pants down and dance the funky chicken, and, or you will, jump off the ring into a pie. I don't know. I mean, that would be pretty nifty noodles in my opinion. But Jafar can hypnotize people as long as he holds on to that staff. And he's got a Yago. Yago can kind of fly around and be sneaky, or, like stab people with his feathers when because I know he does the I'm molten thing and all that kind of stuff. So that would be my moveset for Jafar for the most part. I think some of his hats too are really pointy. I think he could just like stab somebody and impale them like a spear with the hats. That would be pretty funny, but that's his moveset in my opinion, personally. If we're going back to personality, Jafar is not afraid to sacrifice others and to use them. He's also a master of disguise, and we see that when he disguises himself in Aladdin and tricks Aladdin to get the lamp, because Aladdin is still kind of naive and still kind of tender-hearted. And I mean, he's like, yeah, I'll save you. And then Aladdin hands him the lamp, and then, oh no, I'm just going to throw you to your lava doom. Well, I don't expect much less from Jafar, but that's pretty bold, that's pretty cunning, and that's pretty neat too. He can use the disguise maybe in the ring. And I think it's kind of odd, I guess, how he's so interested in Jasmine. I know part of it is because he wants the throne, and if he can't get to the Sultan, you get through the next in line. But I mean, he's old, and she's like 15, and when they kiss, it's just gross. I mean, man has no boundaries. And that outfit, it's kind of degrading for Disney. I mean, ugh. The fact that Jafar would do that, in my mind, is pretty evil. His laugh is really deranged, too. He has one of my favorite Disney laughs, for sure. And, yeah, I just really enjoy it. And the beard is so twisted. I mean, twisty beards, twisty mustaches, that's just a sign you're evil right there. He even has his own sequel in the Aladdin franchise, The Return of Jafar, Jafar Returns. And he's the villain in it. He's like the main guy, and they have to stop him again after they thought they found peace. I personally think it's a really cute movie, maybe not as, hyped up as the original Aladdin, but I really enjoy it. The songs are cool, the color schemes is bright. I would highly recommend it for a one-time watch. He's a pretty serious threat in that one, too. Here's some kind of interesting credentials. Captain Hook, Jafar, and Maleficent are the only 3 villains in a special where they plan to kidnap Mickey Mouse. I think they're pretty close to succeeding. So, Jafar is one of this trio, and of course I'm not surprised Maleficent's on there. I mean, she's kind of been labeled as Queen of Disney at times for the villain department. But the fact that he got to help kidnap Mickey in a special that's pretty, I guess, a high honor if you're a villain, because Mickey is the mascot of Disney. He's also chosen to join this kind of group by Maleficent in the original Kingdom Hearts game from 1992 for the PlayStation 2. And Maleficent, of course, is the ringleader again, and he's in charge of helping her track down the 7 princesses of light. So again, pretty monumental task. And of course, Jasmine is his target, because she is one of the princesses of light. And that's not really a spoiler, and if it is, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to ruin your life. You'll get over it. There was actually an original song, because Jafar kind of does a short little his own version of Prince Ali, which is one of my favorite, actually, parts of the song, because I just think it's just really well done. But he actually had a whole song called Humiliate the Boy, and I listened to it and watched the rough sketches of it on YouTube, and it's really mean. It's so bullying. It's mean. I can see why they cut it. I really can. And just Humiliate the Boy is the title in general. That's not very nice at all. Deleted scenes from the film also hint that Jafar was bullied as a child, and he was poor like Aladdin when he was young. But he didn't handle it very well like Aladdin did. The cartoon origins of his staff and magic are still unclear. And that's sad, but again, you don't have to go around trying to throw people in like a giant mouth of a cave and stuff. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how I would handle that, I guess. But I guess it explains a little bit of his evilness. I also found out in my research that he has a twin sister. Oh, maybe he runs the family? I don't know. I would call her up if I could do a tag team with them. Her name is Nasria, and she's the main She is the main antagonist. Wow, I can't talk. Of Narcia's Revenge. She loves her brother Jafar very dearly, and she was actually born with her powers, whereas it's hypothesized by Disney fans that Jafar kind of learned his. So again, but she has powers, and maybe there's some kind of family line, like a descendancy with that. She teams up with, so there's that. Also, Jafar teams up with Hades in a Hercules episode. In both his sister episode and Hades, Jafar is resurrected from the dead, or the sister's trying to. It doesn't last longer. It doesn't work with both accounts. I also found out that his sister is supposed to kind of resemble Maleficent, and that's a pretty big compliment right there. And then to come, sometime this year, Disney Channel Original Movies, or DCOM, as they are shortened, and I love DCOMs personally, especially when I was younger. It's called Descendants. Jafar will have a son who attends the academy. So that's Jafar, the twisted vizier with the twisted beard, the hypnotic staff, the bird that's going to stab you with feathers. And if he gets the lamp, then like for a final smash or something, you're gonna be in a little bit of trouble, Dan. So, boo-hoo to you. Maybe I'll hypnotize you to do something fun. I don't know, like dress up in a Sailor Moon outfit and dance the Macarena. Well, again. Alright guys, thanks so much for listening. Please go ahead and vote for Jafar in the polls with my team. The link is in the description below. I don't know why I'm doing this. And we'll see you guys in a few days for round 3. Remember to keep voting, keep sharing the love, and remember, you will vote for my team. Just because you let me, 'cause I don't believe in hypnotizing. Love you guys.